Hello, welcome to True Crime with KT. I hope everyone is doing well out there. Today I'm going to talk about the case of Kamille Cupcake McKinney. She was nicknamed Cupcake by her family. She was 3 years old and she lived in Birmingham, Alabama. In fact, she would have celebrated her 4th birthday this week. But she came up missing on October the 12th, 2019. I'm going to give you some information about the case first, and I know a lot of you may already know all about it, but after I give basic information, I'm going to kind of go over a little bit about those who are accused, their backgrounds. The accused are Derek Irisha Brown, who was a 29-year-old female, and Patrick Stallworth, who is a 39-year-old male. On that October the 12th, Kamille was dropped off at her cousin's apartment complex by her mother. There was a birthday party going on, and Kamille was participating in the birthday party. But it seems that no one, such as her cousin, was out watching her, but there were other parents that were observing Cupcake, or Kamille. I may fluctuate between what I call her. That they noticed there were no adults supervising her. But she was noticed, and she was participating in the activities of the birthday party with some younger children. Some video or surveillance video was found of Kamille and another child walking, and 2 adults walked by. The children seemed to be picking something up off the ground, and a 10-year-old said that he told the investigators that one of the adults was giving them candy, and that Kamille was seen by the little boy in the vehicle. They were in an SUV, the adults were. They got into the SUV, and the little boy said that 2 adults were in the SUV and that Kamille was in the SUV crying. In the surveillance video, you could see the 2 adults walk by, and then Kamille and another child following behind them. Surveillance video at a convenience store showed Patrick Stallworth buying $18 worth of candy that day. He came back later and bought an energy drink and a pill for sexual dysfunction. His SUV was linked to all of that. Patrick Stallworth and Brown were both questioned within a day after the abduction. Stallworth was arrested and charged with 4 counts of possession of child pornography, with 3 counts of intent to distribute. So 4 counts of possession of child pornography and 3 counts of intent to distribute. None of the pics that were found on his phone were of Kamille. Now, all of this on Stallworth's phone was found prior to finding Kamille's body. I'm going to forewarn you, I'm going to go a little bit into details about what happened to Kamille, or what may have happened, and if you're sensitive, you may not want to listen. Okay, the female, Derek Brown, was questioned, but at some point she blamed Stallworth for kidnapping Kamille, and she stated that she saw him forcing her to perform oral sex on him. Stallworth had a different story to police. He told investigators that he arrived at his apartment and found Kamille there with Brown, and that Brown asked him if they could keep her. Stallworth said Brown tried to get him to engage in sexual activities with Kamille, but that he didn't. Stallworth stated that Brown put her hand over Kamille's nose and mouth and killed her. On October the 22nd, Kamille's body was found either in a landfill or a dumpster next to Stallworth's apartment. I've read reports of each, so I'm not certain, but either way, she was thrown away like she was garbage. The medical examiner ruled the case or the cause of death as asphyxiation, but they were not able to tell if she was sexually abused due to decomposition of the body. However, investigators found a plastic mattress cover in Stallworth and Brown's apartment that had blood on it. The DNA revealed that the blood belonged to Stallworth, Brown, and Kamille. Crystal meth and trazodone was found in Kamille's body. Trazodone is an antidepressant, but it's often used for insomnia because it has a sedating effect. And I'm imagining they were trying to quiet Kamille. Kamille's mother and father had reported to the news people that Kamille did not go with strangers. So I'm assuming that the reports of the little boy who said that she was crying in the SUV were correct, and that may be why they were giving her trazodone to try to get her quiet. Stallworth's DNA was found under Kamille's fingernails, and Stallworth had a scratch on his chest. 2 inmates in the Jefferson County Jail, where Stallworth was being held, came forward and said that Stallworth had told them he accidentally killed her. Both Stallworth and Brown were charged with capital murder of a child under the age of 14. And kidnapping charges were also filed. My apologies. I didn't find very much background information regarding Stallworth other than the child pornography charges that I previously mentioned. I did find a good bit of information regarding Derek Brown. It seems at one point she was going by the name of Quintessa Jackson. I'm not sure why there was a name change. But when she was 18 years old, she was arrested in 2009 for burglary and theft of property. She was found guilty of theft and was given 2 years of probation. She violated probation by failure to report to her probation officer, and she failed to pay court fees. In 2010, she was arrested again and charged with 2 felonies, robbery and fraudulent use of a credit card. Brown wrote a letter to the judge detailing her childhood, which included sexual abuse, treatment in a mental health facility, and years spent in foster care. She appeared to have a violent and unstable upbringing. But in the letter, she asked the judge to not let her be a statistic and for her not to have her life not to be a failure. She ended up having to go to prison, however, and served 6.5 months. At one point, her 3 children were removed from her after a family member reported that she placed the child in a clothes dryer for punishment. She lost custody of her 3 children, which were daughters. However, she tried to abduct them at gunpoint in 2018 from her relative's house. She led police on a chase, and she ended up colliding with an SUV driven by a deputy. She was indicted for kidnapping in March 2019 and was scheduled to go to court in November. However, before that, she was arrested for the murder and kidnapping of Kamille. The police chief, Patrick Smith, seemed to be confident regarding the arrest. He was quoted as saying, "This is not a movie. This is a reality. We didn't see a benefit of throwing the mother in front of the camera when we had very strong leads. We know exactly what we were doing. We know the pieces of the puzzle that we were trying to put together." The investigator said that there didn't seem to be any prior connection between the suspects and Kamille's family. And I noticed there were a lot of rumors and chaos going on with people talking about the family somehow being involved in the kidnapping, but the police did not find anything regarding that to be true. A question that I have is that a lot of people who sexually abuse children have been sexually abused themselves. Of course, that's not the case with everyone. Some people who have been sexually abused go on and lead a normal life without abusing others. And the question is, if we're ever to try to do anything to figure out if there's a way to prevent these things from happening, would be to look at determining factors. Is IQ or intelligence a factor? Are religious beliefs a factor? How about access to therapy? If someone has not had access to a counselor, maybe they would go on and abuse people sexually like that. But I'm wondering, what makes the difference? Can it be prevented or expected? Is it a social situation or family backgrounds? I think we need to look closely at these cases and to try to see what the common denominators are. Thank you for listening today and watching the video. I would appreciate it if you would subscribe and also give me a thumbs up below. I welcome your comments. Again, I thank you for watching and listening, and feel free to share.